Welcome to your Profitable Law Firm podcast. I'm Kelly Brubaker, your dedicated host, passionate about empowering law firm owners. Let's dive into the hidden strategies that lead to overflowing profits, scaled growth, and thriving lives. This is where overwhelm transforms into confidence, enabling you to create and enjoy your dream firm and your dream life.
Hey, so welcome back. This week's going to be a little different. While I do private speaking engagements throughout the year, I normally don't have access to the recordings that I can share with my followers afterwards. But that's not the case this time. So at the beginning of October 2024, I was included in the 2024 first annual legal summit that was hosted by Affinipay and their subsidiaries, which are commonly known My Case, LawPay, CasePeer, and DocketWise. I do have the recording from that session that I was the speaker at. And in this session, we're going to talk about creating a business plan. And really, my recommendation is to a one-page business plan. And then I talk a little bit about having a budget and why you need to track your expenses and your cash flow. And the third thing that I'm going to mention is about invoicing weekly. And it's really trying to get you to think about how can you have more consistent cash flow? I should say it faster cash flow. So invoicing weekly doesn't change your total revenue, but it helps you get money in the door faster. So you're not scraping by once a month with getting your money in the door. And the last thing that I wrap up with is defining and measuring your KPIs. I was very excited to have been part of this. And like I said, it's the first annual. I'm hoping I get invited back for the second annual Affinipay legal seminar. But take a listen and hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.
We have our first fire session with Curtis Vandergrint and Kelly Brubaker, who will be discussing best-in-class spend and expense management tips. Curtis is a principal product manager at Affinipay, and Kelly is a CPA, CFO, business advisor, and the founder of Profit Scale Thrive. They are here to provide actionable tips and insights to increase your firm's financial wellness. Get your pen and your notepad. And as a reminder, we encourage you to join in on the conversation via the chat. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Curtis.
I'm Kelly.
And today we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the insights we've learned from our customer research and the problems that they're facing related to running their business. You heard Drew talk about smart spend, and we want to highlight some of the things that we've learned and tips that we want to provide to help you get a handle on your cash flow. So one of the things we learned that was a surprise to us was only 19% of firm owners have a business plan that they follow. They're struggling. They're trying to keep on top of their practice, and they're not really focused on all of the financial elements that they need to be mindful of. Another one that we've learned was only 8% of firm owners actually are happy with the salary that they're paying themselves. They're busy paying bills. They're busy making sure that they're collecting on their invoices and billing, and they're not paying themselves enough. Another thing that we've learned is 64% of firm owners struggle with budgeting and their cash flow. Again, like I mentioned, they're busy practicing law, serving their clients, and this is an afterthought that actually comes in the evenings or on the weekends when they can carve out some time for it. So with that, this was an area that we wanted to provide some practical tips and ways that you could start getting a handle on this now. And that's where I'm going to pass it over to Kelly to talk about some of those things. But before we get to that, I think the key thing that we've heard from a lot of our customers is this notion that you didn't learn how to run a business when you went to law school. So you're figuring it out on the go. You're kind of running on the fly. And Kelly, who works with a lot of law firms, is going to provide some practical things that you can start thinking about and put into action today. So with that, I'll pass it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Curtis. So the first thing we want to talk about is business plan. Now, over the years, I've been working with small businesses for about 20 years now. I am a CPA. And the big thing I see is these huge novels, 20, 25 pages of business plan, and it's just a little bit out of control. So here's the things. I think trying to write some epic business plan makes it seem very daunting. Tips to help you get your business plan written. So first off, I want you to block off 30 minutes every week until you get your business plan finalized. Now, the other tip is don't do the 30 minutes at your desk. Go to a coffee shop, sit just undistracted for 30 minutes, work on your business plan. When you hit your time, if you're not done, that's fine. Come back next week and do it. Continue on for some more typing on your laptop. When you do a business plan, I mentioned seeing some epic ones, which I think were a lot of fluff. One thing that I really encourage you is to try to keep it to one page. And so with that, the couple things that I would want you to focus on for your one-page business plan is write down 1 to 3 business goals. What do you want to accomplish in the next 12 months? Make sure that they're SMART goals so that they're measurable. The next thing that I would encourage you to include on your business plan is your core values. I don't really care about mission statements and vision. That is hard to translate when you're trying to talk to employees and clients both about your vision and your mission, because they don't really care. That's what cares to you. You know, you care about your vision and mission. But what I find to be more critical and more translatable is core values. For example, some of my core values, one of them is turn the turtles. So I don't like to see people struggle. I want to be able to help where I can when I see somebody struggling. And another of my core values would be to find the positive in everything. So whatever it is, there's always something positive you can get out of any situation. And then another one is give to give, not give to get. So those are just some examples of some core values. And why I like the core values is because those are relatable to both to you as the firm owner, but to your employees and to your clients. Another thing that I would like to see on your business plan is your practice areas. And I state this because I see a lot of firms who are generalists, and I'm guilty, trust me. As a CPA, when I started my firm, I did everything for everybody. It didn't matter. And it just spread me too thin. So why I like to see your practice areas listed on your business plan is to be able to narrow your focus down. And if a lead comes in, it's not your practice area, have a backup plan where you can refer that lead to. And then the last thing that I want to see on your business plan is unique qualities of your firm. Now, I don't mean that you have a 95% win rate or that you're friendly and you're helpful. Everybody is friendly and helpful. Got it? So the things that I think make a firm unique would be something like, do you have a guaranteed response time to your clients? State what that is publicly. Another thing would be, do you have a program where for every 25 hours that you have client paid work, you give 1 hour pro bono time? So those are the things that make you unique. Put those on your business plan. And then what you're going to do with that is to be able to translate that into your marketing efforts. So it really helps going forward. But keep in mind that your business plan is a living document. You're going to review it and update it frequently.
And so leading in from business plan, another obvious thing that comes to mind is around budgeting and cash flow. Right?
Absolutely. So, budgeting. Everybody doesn't like it. Budgeting sucks. And I'm a CPA. I crunch numbers all day long. I still don't like budgets, okay? Because here's the thing. It's a lot of numbers and there's a lot of assumptions that go into a budget. And it just feels really constrictive, right? So as much as it sucks, it's actually it's a good tool to help you. Why you want a budget. So if you prepare your budget, first off, it gets you into thinking about what are the necessary and unnecessary expenses in your firm. And you can start to eliminate things that you really don't need. It'll also help you to prioritize your expenses. So that's something to keep in mind. And then if you actively review your actual numbers each month end to your budget, it's going to help you identify errors, which are a problem. Errors would be things where the same transaction is multiple times in your book, and that's going to throw off your P&L. And errors can go the other way where transactions are not posted in your books. So either way, if you don't have complete and accurate financials, there could be a potential big impact. For example, if your tax pro calls you once a quarter and says, hey, shoot me over your current P&L, and you just blindly send them your P&L, but it has bad information in it, they're now using bad information to give you your next quarterly estimated payment, which maybe you're overpaying, but you may be paying too little. So, and you're not going to find this out until you do your tax return at the end of the year. So, or next year, really. So there's definitely benefits to reviewing your budget. Now, and one last thing, that if you're reviewing your actual information to a budget, it might help you identify fraud or embezzlement, which I hope nobody encounters, but it's just a tool. A budget is a tool. Now, I will tell you, if you are struggling with budgets, and this is something I've struggled with, there is a book, it's called Profit First, written by Mike Michalowicz, and I've been in the Profit First world for over 4 years now. It just gives you a different take. What I like about the Profit First book is the concept that instead of sitting down and trying to come up with a detailed report, spreadsheet, whatever for your budget, it shows you a different view of your numbers in your books and your money and a different way to budget. And so the advantages are no spreadsheets and very minimal math. So I love all that, actually.
No spreadsheets.
No spreadsheets. I know, it's great. So, but the one thing that I would tell you, I would warn you, so the book is written generically for any business of any industry. And I actually took the concepts from Profit First, and then I wrote a book. I published it last summer, and I took the concepts from Profit First and made it very, very, very specific for law firms. So if you want to check that out, you can grab a copy on my website.
Awesome. And with that, we lead into, I think, a key piece that feeds into budgeting and keeping on top of that cash flow, and that's weekly billing, or billing in general.
Billing in general. So something that I love to talk about is weekly billing. And I will be upfront. Everybody I talk to, about half the people I talk to about weekly billing, I get, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I get half of them are like, you are crazy. I won't deny I'm crazy, but it's a way that so with the monthly billing, what really, really sucks is this struggle that you're going to lock up your money for 5 to 6 weeks at a minimum, just because you're going to bill on a monthly basis. So instead of, so you have a couple of different options. You could increase your fees, and then that'll help bring in more cash when cash comes in, that hopefully will tide you over until the next billing cycle. Or if you break up, you can keep your fees the same and break up your bills into weekly segments. And then you're now getting cash coming in the door every week. Because you know the struggle. I know you know the struggle. It's the money comes in and it's gone the minute it comes into your account. So just the idea of billing weekly, or even every other week, would make a difference to be able to have cash coming in. But if you're opposed to this idea, I appreciate that there's some skepticism to it. I will just leave you with this thought. If nothing changes in your firm, then nothing changes. So if you continue to struggle and you don't want to struggle, try something different and try it for a month. If it works, great. If it doesn't, try something different. But if you don't change it, nothing's ever going to change. And I hate to see people struggle.
And what would be some of the things that people can get started with switching from something like monthly billing to going to weekly? I'm sure there's some obvious things that you can get started.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would definitely start, wrap up the 1 month, whatever month we're in. So, get out your September bills now, because we're at the end of the month, right? And then start next week. Pick a day to just, if it's Monday, if it's Wednesday, if it's Friday, I don't care. Just make it a consistent day, and then build upon that and just do once a week, run your bills. And keep in mind that, maybe it takes you, and I'm just going to throw out numbers just for, context here, but say it takes you 8 hours to do a month's worth of billing. It's not taking you 8 hours if you do weekly billing. It's going to be a lot less time because you don't work on every matter every week. So it's going to be a lot less bills. And even though I'm telling you to bill weekly, you still have the option, if you know you have a case that's going to wrap up early next week, then just hold that bill for the next week. But in general, most of your cases bill once a week, and get that cash moving into your firm. And then some extra tips that I can offer when it comes to getting paid and around the billing cycle is do everything you can to remove all friction with your clients. Meaning, you want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the bills generated and sent to clients. So the fastest way is to email. So email out your bills, get the numbers into a client's hands. And then if you don't already, accept credit card payments. And I think I can connect you with some people that can help you
We
with
might know
accepting.
something about that.
We might know some people who know some people who can help you accept credit card payments. And if you've never accepted credit card payments in your firm, which I appreciate because there's longevity in the industry of accepting checks for payments, increase your fees by 5% and then start sending out payments with the link to let clients pay by credit card, because that 5% increase it'll offset that cost for the credit card processing fees.
Awesome. So we've talked about budgeting and cash flow. We've talked about having a business plan, and now changing some of your invoicing or billing practices. What would you leave people with as a final nugget that they can start thinking about?
So we want to start talking about KPIs. Now, KPI, it's an abbreviation for key performance indicators. And that's just a fancy way to say your important numbers. And so we want to make sure that you have some information to be able to guide your ship, right? Now, remember back when we talked about our one-page business plan, I had mentioned one of the sections would be list out 1 to 3 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. And for each of those goals, I'd like you to come up with 2 to 3 KPIs that when you look at those KPIs will let you know whether you're on track or off track with that goal. That's the point of KPIs. So, and think of it this way. If you've ever run a race, so I was on the track team in college, although I wasn't a runner, but we're always hounding on splits, right? So you knew as a runner, if you want to end the race at a certain, PR, you have to know, you break that down and you have to know what your splits are. KPIs are the same thing. KPIs are going to let you monitor what's your progress towards accomplishing your goal. And so once you've determined your goals, you've come up with 2 to 3 KPIs for each goal, hand that off to your bookkeeper and ask them that when they put together your monthly reporting package that includes your P&L and possibly your balance sheet, and I'm not sure if there's any other information they provide, but ask them to start incorporating your KPIs. So you may have up to about 10 different KPIs. Ask them to include those. And then when you're reviewing your monthly financials, flip the page and right there should be your KPIs. And then that's going to let you know your progress, right? Now, a big thing that I am asked often when I talk about KPIs is, okay, how do I tie these? Like, how do I go from a KPI to a goal or vice versa? The top 3 discussions that I have when I talk to law firm owners about goals, the top 3, let's take them one at a time. I want to have more new clients. Okay, great. If that's your goal, then let's talk about tracking as a KPI your leads by source. Know where your leads are coming from, because that will tell you what is working and what's not working. So if you're pumping money into Facebook ads, but you've got a referral source that's sending you 80% of your business, start whining and dining the referral source. Ditch the Facebook ads. And it could be going the other way. Everybody's data is going to be different. But that's how you use the KPI. Once you see if you're on track or off track, you start to figure out, what can I do to change this result? And then for new clients, another thing I like to track is how many new leads convert to actual clients. And the reason why I like this metric is because you could be having a marketing problem or you could be having a sales problem. If you track leads, if you figure out how many leads are converting to new clients, it's going to help pinpoint, is your marketing message wrong, or is whoever doing the sales not really hitting the mark? Okay. Another goal that I hear often from law firm owners is I want to grow my bank balance. Love this goal. I'm going to tell you first off, break up with your P&L. It's a liar. I mean, we've had this conversation all summer.
Break up with your P&L.
I know. And the reason is it's a liar because, and it's white lies. I mean, it's truth, but it's only half truth. So the problem with your P&L is it's not telling you all the information about your business. And so when when we rely on our P&L, we start to make decisions that may be bad decisions because you don't have the full story. And so when you break up with your P&L, what I want you to do is realize that your net profit does not equal cash in the bank. And I can guarantee a majority is going to have had this conversation. Your tax pro calls you and says, hey, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You made $100,000 this year. Oh, by the way, you owe the IRS 40 grand. And you're like, whoa, I don't even have 100 grand in my bank account. What happened? So this is why the P&L is a liar. It's because it's not capturing all the debt payments you made and all the owner draws. So what you want to do instead, your metric here is to look at your monthly cash in and monthly cash out and make sure that your cash in is bigger than your cash out. And then the last goal that I hear often from law firm owners is I want to increase my profit. And absolutely, let's make that happen. Because if you're not profitable, you're not going to make it to the end of the day, right? So when it comes to increasing your profit, look at the trend of your revenue by month versus your expenses by month. And it'd be perfect if this were in a graph. And you just want to make sure that your revenue line is trending up and your expense line is trending down, or at least not trending as fast as your increase in revenue.
Awesome. So in summary, we just wanted to highlight the 4 things that Kelly talked about. 1 being create a business plan, start small, have a budget and track those expenses and get a handle on your cash flow. Invoice weekly if you're doing monthly now to start getting that cash coming in more often. And define some of those KPIs that you can measure progress. So hopefully those are some practical things that you can do and start making progress today. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Running a successful law firm requires more than just legal expertise. It demands financial acumen, strategic planning, and the ability to make informed decisions. My accounting firm, Profit Scale Thrive, supports law firms in several different ways designed to elevate your law firm's financial performance and set you on the path to sustainable growth. If you're curious to learn more, check out our website at profitscalethrive.com. If you have any questions about today's episode, please let me know by commenting below. If you know someone who might need to hear this information, please share this episode with them. Be sure to follow and subscribe to get notifications for future episodes. Did you enjoy this episode? Please consider leaving a review. And before I go, remember, profit is something you intentionally plan for in the beginning. It's not a potential bonus at the end of the year. Thanks and have a great day.